Radio. Monday night love session. Check us out. Generation. Slow jams. Conversation. Late night stimulation. Call in. Love session. Love session. Monday night.
Oh, I don't even have the rundown.
We ready?
Good evening, good evening, good evening. U Nation Radio family, everybody in Morris Media Live, Internet Land. It's your girl, Akila Trinae, and you are tuned in to another wonderful episode of Love Sessions. Yes, we're here. Monday Night Love Sessions is intellectual stimulation from 10 p.m. to midnight. Of course, tonight we're starting a little bit late. It's okay.
Sessions.
We're still going to do everything that we need to do. Tonight we're talking about exes, if it's okay to still be friends with them after all the love is gone, after the intimacy has died or maybe not died. I don't know. Are you trying to keep it alive? You probably should not. Especially if you've moved on.
Persuading.
Right?
Already persuading.
Like, I
Okay.
thought you just-
Right. There's the
Okay.
topic and there's your solution all together in one.
So we're
Nice.
solving
Okay,
problems.
but without any further ado, we're going to introduce our peoples here. So as I always kick it to Mr. Charles Handy
Yo.
in the building.
What up? I'm fixing my camera, everybody. So yeah, I gotta get the rundown pulled up. I don't got my laptop out. This daylight savings time, I
Messed everybody up.
Yo, I barely
Yeah.
made it here by the skin of my teeth, so I'll just be totally transparent. I was almost not gonna come.
Well, you
This
really
time-
you said you weren't coming.
Yeah,
I was
wasn't
like,
coming, but my kids finally went to sleep because they were just like
Becker.
they were tearing up the house. My son has had a rough day. He woke up this morning he knew right away it was too early. He was like, it's too early. He's like crying. It's like,
I figured it was your son. Didn't I say it was probably
You
his
did.
son?
because he really is he's a daddy's boy, and he did not want. He's had a rough day from the start because instead of getting up at 7, he is you wake up and it's 6, basically, and so. Yeah, from there, that's just been the process.
Daylight savings was terrible.
Yeah. And Sugarfoot's here, just so y'all know, what I'm saying? She's not just behind the scenes today. She pulled up on us in the front, so just so y'all know, it's somebody else here. Shout out.
I didn't even see it on me. I'm like,
Right,
oh,
y'all look
Right,
at
I'm
that.
showing the people who else is here.
Anyways, so I'm supposed to
Sponsors. You want me to?
Sponsors, yeah, 'cause I need-
okay.
I need-
So
shout out
right,
to Tangi.
right now, yes. Shout out to Tangi. She has an organization called Dear Uzuri, and I'll tell you about. Do I have it right here? Dear Uzuri. It's all about self-reflection, self-healing for women. She has an event coming up. I believe it is March 24th in Hollywood. It is a fashion show. And our lovely Tangi is going to be modeling in that show. I believe tickets can be purchased in advance. If you saw the ad, you'll see the ad at some point, flyer during the show. Make sure, again, you go out and support. I believe it starts at 9 p.m. and it goes to about 2 a.m. So we just want to make sure that we support her in that endeavor. And of course, you can always go check out my book, Beyond Hurt. It's still available on Amazon.com. So make
Still
sure
ain't got
that
my
you're
shirt,
not the
though.
last. You know what? Before you leave today, I got
I
the
heard that a
shirt
few
in my
times.
trunk.
Yeah, I've heard
Like
it.
literally, but it's always been
I've heard
there.
it. I've heard that
This
before,
shirt
though.
has never left my trunk.
Yeah.
saying he need
but
action.
but that's not helping me though.
Okay, but let us all remember that I need to give Mr. Handy a shirt. If you want to get a shirt, holla at me
On the low.
on social media at Akila Trinae. Yeah,
All right.
I'll hook you up before you leave today.
Cool.
So, Sugarfoot, you can do social media since DJ Ree is not here.
Yeah. Yo.
I don't know all the usernames.
It's pretty much
How you
just
don't know
right.
these
Why would be on the social media?
Because
Wait
I'm
a
live
second.
too, and I'm like, okay, let me
Wait
go.
a
Right.
second.
I wasn't prepared.
You're
You
right.
didn't tell me that.
Yeah,
You didn't
see?
warn me.
See?
Okay, cool.
Hey.
Guess what? When you come in,
Right. So, definitely follow us on Twitter at unation_radio, and look for us on Instagram as well at unation radio. And you can also go like our Facebook page at unation radio.
Yeah,
That's
and
all
there's
of them,
some
right?
polls and things, right?
We do. So
We
you
have
guys
a
want to
couple
do
of
a
them
polls
throughout
right
the
now?
show.
But we want to introduce them.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course.
Go ahead.
Oh, so now I'm going to kick it to...
No, I said you want to introduce the polls. I thought that's what you said.
I was saying introduce you too, right?
But we got to go to you first, and then we'll do...
You don't have to do anything, but I'll take it anyway. Thank you for the
Okay.
lot. How you doing? Back to be back in the building. I am down to Detroit, and I'm
Back to
glad
be
to
back.
be here. It's been a long, stressful day in daylight savings as well. Messed me up, and it made me stupid because my cable had the right time, but my stove had the wrong time. But
And your cell phone?
But my stove, my cell
Okay.
phone be on a charger, So, but
Got it.
the stove is, when you walk out my bathroom, you can see the stove. So I'm like, oh, okay, I got time. And then I go get back in the bed, and I'm looking at the bed like, I'm late. And then I go back to the bathroom, brush my teeth. I'm like, but I got time. What's going
Bro,
on? So
it's 1 hour. It shouldn't be that confusing.
But here's the problem. I had no clue daylight savings was approaching us. So I was
How?
I was completely oblivious
How,
to
Sway?
it. I was oblivious to it. I just didn't know. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of which, before we get on to the show, and speaking of modeling, does anybody watch the Top Model? Like, it hurt me that India won this damn thing. It's supposed to be
No,
Tatiana.
I haven't watched Top
Wow,
Model
I haven't
since.
watched it in a minute.
No, it came back.
Eva.
It came back on VH1. Yeah, I ain't seen it since then. That's the last time I had watched it too. But anyway, we are talking about should you be friends with your ex? Does being friends with your ex mean you can't trust your past or your next? Shout out to Tasha, by the way. And if you want to call in, Tasha and everybody else, it is 323-293-3375. Again, it's 323-293-3375. And we want to talk about why you can or cannot or should or shouldn't be friends with that person that you used to be with. I don't see nothing wrong with it. You see something wrong with it?
Of course you wouldn't see anything wrong with
How
it.
are y'all
You
giving
see
y'all
something wrong
opinion on
with
the
it?
show?
That's just a yay, nay.
Let's see
maybe
Yes.
so.
let's see what the
Yes.
people are talking about. Let's hit it. Let's go to the poll before we give all our own opinions.
Call in, please.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we want to hear the
We-
people. We want to hear the people. So
Hey,
we want to
Jerry.
hear what y'all got to say. So the number is 323-293-3375. Sorry, it's pausing it.
Nice,
So
nice.
so it's a 323 area code, just so y'all
Right.
know. And then it's 293-3375. Somebody call in and give your own alternative facts or opinion.
That sounds like an opinion already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody's giving alternative facts, somebody's giving facts. I just don't know who's who yet.
Y'all see my little handy dandy
Camera pan.
That's talent. That girl
I'm
good.
telling you.
That girl good.
I'm telling you.
Sorry,
I just want to say
Okay.
this really quick. I learned something really cool over the weekend on Saturday. If you ever want to clean your microwave, apparently, you just put a lemon in the microwave for like a minute and let it
explodes.
explode and things, and then it cleans the microwave up.
Interesting, actually.
And if you need a Brillo pad and you don't have one, you can take some foil and ball it up and wet it and whoop.
Wow. I never
Nice.
I never heard of those. What are those like? Those are life hack. You heard of that show, Life Hacks?
Yeah,
or
one of my
something?
coworkers, she was doing. I said, "Girl, you need to write a book before I steal it and take it as my own."
That sounds interesting. I never heard of nothing like that before.
Me either, actually.
But I
Yeah.
did
Lemons
see on
exploding
the
about-
internet somehow the Nancy Pelosi or whoever the Trump's spokesperson was saying something about microwaves are responsible for stealing people's information. It was a Twitter thing, so I could be tripping. But they just always attach Trump's name to all this different
You
rhetoric.
know who else is responsible for stealing people's information?
But,
Exes.
yeah, they be knowing those passwords.
And them socials.
Oh, dang, they don't put a
Gotta watch
phone,
your ex.
yeah,
Got-
phone in
Depending
your
on how
name or
close you
something.
were.
They sneaky.
But we're going to get right into it when we get back to after this commercial break. This is Deborah Cox. We can't be friends.
Oh,
Pull
that's
us.
my jam.
Cue us up.
Okay.
Yeet!
That is my jam.
Tell me.
The problem is when you put on on Deborah Cox. Like, you just can't help yourself.
You be in there.
Whether
You
you
just
sound
can't
good or not, 'cause in my head,
Ever-
I sound
ever
good.
find
was
the
about to fall out
love.
his seat.
Shout out to everybody that
Right?
didn't have to hear that.
Right.
You know, in their earphones. Right now.
When,
Just shout out to everybody that
we
didn't
used
even
to
hear
during
that
the breaks
rendition.
get the microphone and
And
do
be
a whole
going
performance.
ham.
I'm glad it was
I'm
used
glad.
to.
Y'all sound like haters.
You can't.
Haters.
Nah,
So we're
I'm
back.
over.
This is Love Sessions. This is the crew. I'm your girl, Akilah Trinae. You're tuned in. Hopefully, you're tuned in and you tell somebody else to tune in because you already know where to
Tell
find
a
us
friend to
because you're
tell a
here.
friend.
But
Tell their
again, the number 323-293-3375. Yeah, I memorized it. I got it up here now.
Check you out. So before we do get into this, you said you had a poll that you want to.
Yes. So I put the poll on Twitter, and the question was, would it bother you if your significant other was still friends with their ex? So we had 14 votes so far, and 43% said yes, 14 said no, 36 said sure with some boundaries, and 7% said what's the point?
What's your motivation?
So before I get into all this, let's just get a yay or a nay across the table. Sugarfoot, how do you feel about the question?
I think it'll depend on the
I
trust.
say yes or no.
Well,
No explanation.
I really
you
think
can
it's
give a little
because I'm
something.
kind of like it could be a yes and a no depending on that ex or like maybe that history or the trust that you have like
I feel
with
you.
that person.
Okay, well, I mean, I like the
Could I-
idea
oh, y'all
of just
skip-
a
y'all
yes
skipping
or a
me?
no initially, and then at the end of the show
Okay.
we can see if
So
maybe
initially
it
off the
changes.
top,
Okay, so
if you
yeah,
say,
so
"Oh, me
you
and my
said-
ex are friends," no.
I would say 100% no. If y'all
No
have
explanation?
kids, no. Listen to me. This is important. If y'all got kids, I will allow certain.
You will
kid-
allow.
Yeah,
Oh,
I will allow
Oh.
certain communications to be had, but
Huh.
outside of that, nah, I'm good. I'm super good.
Okay, I'm gonna give my answer no, and then I
Oh,
think
oh,
that
no explanation.
No, I'm not explaining. But I would like to clarify when we say friends, to what extent we're
Okay.
talking about. Like, you know, given the conversation context in when we say friendship, because of what you just mentioned, like
Yeah.
you're saying, you know, a person
Yeah.
you share children with. I think that's a different type of relationship.
Well,
in the sense- you get
it's
what I
super.
mean?
It's super different.
But-
you can't help
It
but
doesn't-
allow.
no,
by
no,
the
no.
way.
No, I'm
But
saying
it
it's super
doesn't.
different,
It
yeah.
doesn't make certain things within a friendship okay. Still, You know
No,
what
but
I'm saying?
there will be a lot more communication
Right.
between the two people, and there'll be a lot more interactions that
Right.
need to be had, and not necessarily things that are going to be private per se, but you're not going to be like, oh my God, it's 11 o'clock, and the woman and whoever her name is texting you, and then you're going to be like, you're not going to raise hell about it necessarily, because you might have to pick up, your son or daughter tomorrow, and the plan is
Unless
changed.
the person is using that, you know what I mean? Because I know
But
people
those things happen too. But what at the same time is
use the kid as the pawn to
way
get to the man.
yeah, definitely to stay in a whole. That's what I'm saying. The kids in that element, it breaks that adds a whole new layer to this friend thing. You know what I'm saying? But off the bat, if it's just like a straight up like, hey, this is my ex guy. We were friends growing up in high school, but now we're best friends now. It's like, nah, that's not gonna work for me at all. So that's how I feel about it.
I just had a thought, and it just
When
hopefully-
Vanished Detroit,
Hopefully, it'll come back.
You guys are rather interesting.
yeah, we didn't hear your answer. Though.
Well, he
Yeah.
says yes.
So you said yes.
Oh, you
your
don't have a
answer-
problem with it.
I don't have a problem with it.
Okay. So this is your just this is hypothetical. But
My
I'm saying-
girlfriend is friends with her.
No, I'm just I'm still gonna give a hypothetical just so we're not going down the road of specifically this blah blah blah. So I'm saying in general, if this is an ex relationship, like no kids, we're just like I dated this person for 3 years in college, but we stayed friends this whole entire time or whatever, and we hang out and go to the movies and bowl or whatever. I know you like bowling, so they can do all this stuff and hang out and that's cool.
Yeah, if I know about it, I'm fine. If I'm comfortable with it, then I'm fine.
You're saying you're comfortable with it.
Yeah, there's been cases and scenarios. So,
Is there boundaries?
Does that mean you're technically not okay with it?
I feel like deep down you're not.
Yeah.
I think you
You
just
said, if
allow
I'm okay
it
with it, then
because
it's fine.
He said, I don't know. His answer was a little weird.
You know, you're,
I don't know.
there was a time that I thought that it was okay. You know, that I thought that it could be possible, you know, for a woman to still be friends with her ex, male ex. And that could have been, you know, me being naive in a sense, you know, because you're like, okay, we're hanging out, you know, we may go eat with whatever. And this is not being in a relationship, still communicating with the ex. This is just the relationship is over, still being in communication with the ex. Like, oh yeah, it's cool because we're friends. You know what I mean? Whereas the man in that instance is like, nah, I'm just trying to figure out when I can get that foot back in the door to get the relationship started again. You know what I'm saying? Whereas I'm thinking like, oh no, he just want to be my friend.
Okay, well, like I said, we'll get into my overall premise at the end of the day of why and why not. But what it means when you say you stay friends with your exes, what does it say about you and your current relationship? So it says here, it makes sense that after the...
What's the article from?
The article
Women's Health Mag.
From Women's Health. I emailed it to you.
I
So
know, but I just wanted to...
To let the people
You
know.
didn't email it to everybody, just so you know.
up here,
We're on a radio show.
my apologies, Charles. So it makes sense that after the demise of a relationship, you may still want to keep your ex in your life. Putting the kibosh on the romantic side of things doesn't automatically mean you hate each other. After all, if you going through a certain part of your life with a particular person and you shared history, says Jane Greer, PhD, New York-based relationship expert and author of What About Me? And Stop Selfishness from Ruining Your Relationships. The connection with your ex also keeps you connected to a certain highlight in significant times, and that's very meaningful. Beyond that, a breakup might throw you for a loop because of sudden loss of your biggest support system. This person is often your closest companion, says Stephen Snyder, MD, and New York City-based sex and relationship therapist.
Charles, you all
If you lose the relationship, you can also lose a big part of your social world. So yeah, staying pals can seem preferable losing your BF or your BFF in one fell swoop. With that said, there's a difference between having a friendly chat every so often and texting a good morning each AM. Here's what each stage of being chummy with the ex means about you and where your new relationship is if you're in one. So with all that being said, and we'll go down a list of topics of things that first happen that go from shallow to deeper. He says there's a what I'm saying, there's a difference between texting somebody every so now and then and then texting somebody every morning. And to your opening salvo about how you feel and how you once felt, everything for me is about perspective. Everything. And so while I'm very open and I say yes to being friends with exes, it's all in perspective. My national perspective is if I can't trust you around them, then I don't need to be with you, period, if they're still in your life. And if coming into a situation, now, if I come into a situation I know all or I know most and I feel okay with it and we still got my feelings were able to progress past the point to where I still said I want to like you and I know such a thing, then fine. But there's to me there's a difference. Okay, you're saying I hear
No.
you, but
No.
and we'll get there.
No.
We already there.
Yeah, we're right, exactly.
We gotta put
no,
a-
because
let's put a little
perspective.
button
Yes,
in there real
I
quick.
understand that, but trust is trust. That's here.
Right.
That's not even a question because you're in a relationship with the person, and if you don't trust them, then you shouldn't be in a relationship with the person.
Right.
Now we're talking about being friends with an ex. Now,
This
the
means
thing
that y'all
that
had a
these
relationship
articles
already.
talk about
Cool,
is, I know you said from the shallow to the deeper, right?
Right.
There are subtleties, right? Things that happen or have happened, moments that were shared in a relationship, a past
Inside
relation,
jokes.
inside jokes, all of that. I was watching the episode Being Mary Jane. It seems like Being Mary Jane always is on point
and
with
I
whatever
still-
we're
I
talking
still haven't
about.
seen that
But
whole
she
show.
met
It's great.
her boyfriend's ex-wife.
Right. Which was
And-
completely harmless.
It was
she did-
harmless,
she did
but
what again?
initially it was like she felt left out of moments. The only reason why it was okay is because she was playing for the other team. That's the only reason.
Okay, but what changed it also was having perspective. See, so before that she didn't have it.
But listen, because she asked him a question, and I'm spoiler alert for those who didn't watch it. But the point of what I'm saying is, she asked him
on
the
Netflix,
question:
Hulu.
do you still have feelings for her? Do you still love this person that you were with? Naturally, yes, you are, because you would be a liar to say no. It's all gone. You know what I mean?
It could be.
Right.
Because most things out of sight, out of mind. When that person is not around, right, you don't think about them. You're able to kind of do your functioning thing. But then when the person comes around, it brings back that flood of emotions and feelings and all that. The times when maybe things were good. And that in itself can be just a little window. You open that little window.
There's levels to the relationships, because I'm saying people have dated in college, but they know they're not compatible for each other, or dating in high school and they're just like,
right.
It's true, but let those two people get back together and I don't mean back together like that, but back in the same kind of environment when you reminisce, when you smell something
opportunity,
that's familiar,
definitely.
But what is it? But you
Even
got to
on
get down.
Insecure.
You got to get true, but you got to get to the bottom
you weren't
line
in my
things.
space.
You got to get to the bottom line of things, and I
your
always ask the question. I always ask is, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Because likewise, sitting up here, all of us could have insiders that nobody else would be privy to because nobody else does a TV show with us. You know what I'm saying? There's insiders that you could have at work with coworkers that your significant other at home doesn't have because they don't speak your lingo. I had a girl I used to date with, and she was a social worker, and she would always talk to her friend, and they would be talking this weird, different jargon, and it was like, yeah, I was left out, and I just left. Okay, then I can't be involved in that because that's not the case. But that's no different than my best friend Deshaun. We talk a whole separate language, and most women don't understand that, even though we're talking directly about them at times. You know what I'm saying? So it just, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? If it doesn't mean much or is shallow, it's not something that's just reduced to something so negative. Now, I do agree with what you're saying.
I'm not saying it's negative, but what I'm saying is it potentially opens a window for you going back to that place that you were in. Of course, you're going to remember, and nobody's to say that if you hang out with, you talk to your ex, you key together, that you're going to fall back in love with them and you're gonna go have this,
you got the opportunity.
Yeah, it is an opportunity, and it is just that window, right, where it can again open that door. It can lead to other things, because think about it now. If your girlfriend without the title then begins to continue to communicate with this other person whom she can't speak that language with you, then she's ultimately continuing to be able to share a space with this other person that you won't be able to fill because that person is still there.
What if that's a necessary void for her?
Well, she needs to fill that void with you as a relationship.
But that's what I'm saying. But no, not really.
No,
but does it have to be the ex?
All right, could I just
it just depends. Like I said, it just depends.
So really, it's the history
it
that
depends
bothers you.
And that's what I'm saying. It all depends on what it means. And to me, it's also indicative of where you stand currently in your relationship. You see,
I just think
I'm
there's
saying
some
it
things
can.
you may not know about your own feelings and your own emotions. Like you may feel as though
if I don't
you're
feel
over
threatened by
a situation,
anything, it doesn't.
And then when it comes back,
and then you could potentially be exposed to old feelings and old.
Right. So
you know
exactly. Like that's what I would say is I would just say you playing with fire. You know what I'm saying, with that whole situation. I don't think it has anything to do with your current relationship. Like for me, if I'm dating you and I'm out there dating or pursuing you as a date, a big red flag early on for me is if a girl's like, for one, she's gonna be like, oh, my ex, and you know what I'm saying, she's gonna be like, or she might, for one, she's probably gonna talk about this. You know, most people talk about their exes like a dog, right? You know what I'm saying? But then it's a red flag if this man is, or whoever is supposed to be all this and that and did you dirty, and next thing you know, you hanging out with him. You know what I'm saying? That's for one. But then on the other side, if y'all friends, like I'm not gonna compete with nobody, especially if we just like getting to know each other and we trying to establish something. But meanwhile, you know what I'm saying, you going to dinners and hanging out with your ex or going to the movies with your ex, it's like y'all just starting something new, getting to know each other, just getting familiar. And this person probably has so much history, knows your mom, knows your dad, knows your brothers and sisters, and y'all shared whatever dreams and aspirations together. So now you behind the 8 ball because you're competing with this person that already had this person's heart.
But you're not, and if that's the case, you might as well not date another soul that has ever had.
No, if you're friends, I'm saying that's a distinction.
No, because here's my thing. If case in point on Black Ink, you know what I'm saying, when Duchess breaks up and they call her and they tell her, you don't. But
so
people out there do. But the point, it's something simple. She was with the dude for 5 years. They called her and told her that he was in a fatal accident. Right?
Sorry.
So she instantly broke down in tears. Mind you, they had broke up. You know what I'm saying? She's across the country, but they got her a call like, "Hey, C's been in a fatal accident." She still cried. Why? Because but time out. What I'm saying.
Let me finish.
Time out. What I'm saying
Wait
is,
a minute.
my point is, just because something goes away, just because something isn't anymore, doesn't mean something goes away. Period. So just because, like, you can't undo if your ex-girlfriend had a boyfriend and they were tied into the family, and they broke up, right? And now you're the new boyfriend. They didn't unknow the person that she was dating before. So if that's gonna bother you anyway, because they have that relationship and they thought it was going somewhere and they befriended them, then you might as well not be with them in the first place, because that's still going on and that's still the case.
No,
so
I should be coming into a clear space.
But I'm saying it doesn't.
That's what
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. None of that means anything. It
doesn't have to mean anything.
But that's my point. All those things are mutually exclusive.
That's what I'm saying. It's a flag. It's something I pay attention to.
And I respect that.
I'm sorry. Calm down.
Friendship
What's
with an ex.
Flag?
A girl who is too close that I'm pursuing and dating, and like, for instance, if we're newly dating and we're hanging out, sleeping together, whatever, and she's like, "Oh yeah, my ex wants to hang out with me," I'll be like, "No." And the reason I say that is because, for me as a man, I just wouldn't, like, for one, when two people get together, there's a mutual attraction there, for one. You know what I'm saying? As a man, you're not going to take a girl to dinner or movies. At the end of the night, you trying to have a nightcap. Y'all trying to hang out.
Couldn't be further from the truth.
I don't think that's
that's what I'm saying. That's with intent. You get what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So
I feel like if you're taking this girl that you had a relationship with out, it's just I feel like you, as a man, at the end of the day, you're probably thinking, "Hey, we've done this a million times. Like, let's go dinner and a movie and Netflix and chill." And I don't think that's like makes you a jerk by saying that. But I'm just saying, it's just like it would be hard for me to believe.
There's no reason for me to feel like a jerk.
It would be hard for me to believe that if a woman said she went out to a dinner and a movie with her ex, that he didn't, at least she wasn't putting herself in a position where he was at least trying or what you're saying and that bothers me to be that you even in that scenario.
First off, for me, like I said, if I don't trust a woman, it doesn't matter anyway, because I see an ex person and somebody that she's friends with or co-worker
I trust her.
With. I'm not saying I'm not.
As far as I can throw it.
But I'm not. But I'm not talking about you specifically. You know what I'm saying? You know, as far as I know, you guys are the best couple in the world. Shout out to your wife. So
shout out to my wife for letting me even come. My son. Ooh.
But what I'm saying is, if I trust the woman that I'm with, then every man is a potential culprit for me. Period.
I definitely trust, but opportunity is different from trust.
No, I understand that, but opportunity is everywhere. My mom, one of my surrogate moms told me, if a woman wants to cheat on you, she's going to cheat on you.
But it's going to be a lot harder for her for a stranger coming at you than your ex coming at you. They know you.
I don't know,
It doesn't matter, period. If she wants to do it, she's good. Because like I said, at the end of the day, she's not going to unknow her ex. So if she's gonna cheat on me with her ex, the only difference is I'm either gonna know the person and know that she has a relationship with the person, or I'm not gonna know about it at all.
Do you want if you got a chicken coop, are you gonna leave the door out open and hope the fox don't come in? Or are you gonna let the fox in? I don't know the analogy, but all I'm saying
I
is,
get
like,
it, but-
all I'm saying, I know. All I'm saying is you know, hey, I personally would say, yeah, I trust. I definitely trust is all you got in a relationship. Trust is the thing that's gonna keep y'all together. It's the thing that could keep you all apart as two people in a relationship. But what I will say is 100% is that when it's just an opportunity scenario, and at the end of the day, the ex already had, like, you could have the sweetest girl in the world. This person had her heart at one point.
I don't put
You know what
that
I'm saying?
past.
Okay,
anybody.
let's flip it around. Go ahead.
So I would say I want to give you like two different
Go ahead.
opinions from what the people said.
Go ahead.
Right? So Dominique said that from her experience, her exes still had feelings for her and still loved her. So having contact with them, she felt like that would give them hope. But Carlita said on the other side, she's not going to get with somebody who she doesn't trust 100%. But she would hope that her partner is smart enough to not put themselves in that situation in the first place.
It just
Because
don't need
you
to-
know there's history there. But
Right.
are you going to put yourself in that situation no matter how you feel about it, knowing how I feel about it, or are you just going to stay away from it? Because that could just cause issues with us.
I'm
Okay,
good.
so
I want to flip it
Go
around
ahead.
for you for a second, because I know you were talking about on the other side. But do you feel like you could, and in all honesty, be in a situation where, and I'm not saying that you would do anything, because it's not always the action of, okay, you're going to, disrespect the person that you're in a relationship with. But even if you're in a relationship or outside of a relationship, do you honestly feel as though you can be around somebody that you've previously been intimate with as far as a committed relationship? I'm not just talking about somebody you just had sex with randomly, right? Because that's not really an ex. In a sense, but I'm somebody you were previously in a relationship and were intimate with. Do you feel like you can be around them and everything just be cut off and cool and not feel certain elements or things that were once felt at one time?
most of them, yeah. There's one, no.
Wow, Zoe Williams tuned in. Shout out to Zoe.
You know what I'm saying? So, but that's my point. Most of my exes, I don't have that issue with. But does
You
that
said
mean-
most.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's talk about the one that you do.
Right. So with that case, I wouldn't put myself in that predicament with that ex. So so here's my point. To me,
I
everything.
mean, we all just human anyway.
But
man.
here's my point.
Right.
Everything is mutually exclusive. One thing doesn't mean that just because I have exes that I can be friend with doesn't mean that every ex
So
I
what's the
can
difference? What's the difference between the one that you can't and the ones that you can?
Yeah. All right.
It's just not. It's not that gravitational pull or that urge to do. It's not that depth. And to me, it's more indicative of where, like I said, to me, it's more indicative of where my relationship is today. My relationship is on solid ground enough, apparently, to withstand all of those. But then again, it wouldn't matter anyway, because even without the relationship, I didn't want any of those back anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Can
but
I,
that's
can I read some of my Facebook so that I'm not just the only one out here tripping. So shout out to Don Trinell. Don, shout out. So he says, yes, if you have self-control. So he says yes. Tremaine on my Facebook says, I say no because in the back of your mind, you still gonna think you can get it back. Which that's what I would say as a dude. That's what I would be feeling like. Tim Ryan, he says, I hope so because I live with mine. Ooh, wow.
You got a real situation.
Yeah, okay. And
I'm curious to know who was
yeah.
that? Who was that?
Tim Ryan.
Tim.
Yeah,
This
he
is
on?
just a question for you. Are you in a current relationship while living with your ex?
I believe.
I would want to know about that.
I think so. Shout out to Tim. I think that I think that he's just in a situation where his ex is they got a good relationship, And those things can happen. I'm not saying they can't.
And nobody's saying that you can't be friends with your ex, but you do have to, when we talk about perspective, take the person that you're with, right, into account and how they may feel.
So we got a caller on the line. Caller, give us your name and tell us where you're calling from.
This is Tasha.
Hey, Tasha.
Hey, Tasha.
I was just about to bring you up too.
You was about to bring me up.
Do you want to fill us in?
Nah, go ahead, girl.
No, I'm just really interested in how everybody seems to be on one side of the issue. Like, I feel like there's two sides to
I'm with you.
all of this.
I'm with you.
All right, so is this... Who do you
Well,
know?
I said
Do you know
that too, though.
Tasha?
Tasha is my
this
friend.
is her
We
friend.
grew up together. But
All right, that's what
Tasha
I'm just.
used to
Yeah, fill
tune
us
into
in.
the
Let
show.
me know. Shoot.
So, but she got to fill us in on her side.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it goes. I think it could be both ways, honestly. Like,
All right.
so all I'm saying is I've had exes that I would like never be friends with. Like, they're just not even friendly people.
Yeah.
But I've seen other people who are friends with their exes for years, and it's completely platonic. There's no anything involved with it other than, like, hey, we dated, it didn't work, but you're like a good person that I want to be around, and they do that. You know,
What's the extent of the friendship?
You got to be their friend
She
too.
said it's platonic.
No, I'm just saying, like,
I mean,
are
are they
they
going to the movies
talking on the
together?
phone?
Are
Are
we
they
all
hanging
going? Is this a
out?
group
like they
idea?
do all kind of stuff together. Okay, and
Do
no
they go on
joke.
trips together?
I'm talking about both the couple and the ex.
See, I feel like if
You see how they putting a slant on this?
No, I'm just trying to get perspective.
Okay, go ahead. She did that.
Okay, well, perspective. let's try to do perspective. What I'm saying is, you can have a friend that you used to date that you are completely platonic with, where you hang out, you can go eat with, you can go to the movies with, you go shopping with. You know, he could be checking out some girl, and you like, yeah, she cute. Like, it could be completely platonic without being any attachment or any residual thing other than like, this is my friend. It doesn't have to be a love interest on a romantic level to have a friend. I mean, a lot of people date
But
and
there
realize
was
that they're not a good couple.
There was an attraction there. There was a sexual attraction there at one point because of the fact that y'all had a relationship, and there was a lot going on, and now for that to end, and then for you to kind of just switch it to one person. I always feel like it could be one of those things that one person, it's never just like this utopic kind of, all right, we're broken up, we're only friends, nobody has any feelings for each other, we're just this one thing. And attraction isn't that way. It's not like, oh, I'm attracted to you the same way you're attracted to me, and then we're broken up, we're friends the same way.
But under the premise that you put it there, they never broke it. They would have never broken up in the
though.
first place.
I don't, but
No.
yeah, and then it's like, you don't break up and sit down and have this conversation about how you want to still just be friends. I think that when you're in that relationship, you have more of a friendship. So when you decide that the relationship is not good, you still keep the friendship. It's just something that naturally happens. I don't really feel like it's something that you're supposed to force, like, oh, we used to date and you cool, so let's be friends. But we weren't friends in that relationship. Like, we wasn't even getting along in the end.
So-
I mean,
All right, so just so we get this on the we're just clear, because we actually get another call. You're gonna say that somebody, you would not mind your guy being friends with his ex girlfriend.
no.
Bingo,
Okay.
and that's the truth.
All
Thank
right.
you, Tasha, for calling in. Again, if you want to call in, the number is 323-293-3375. Caller, next caller, give us your name and tell us where you're calling from.
Maybe we didn't catch it.
Maybe they're gone.
I do got some more Facebook comments we can go through from the lives. It depends. So, Kion says it depends on the terms of the split. my boy Michael Tolbert, shout out to Tolbert. He says different strokes for different folks. Kion says my ex wants to come over every day. And Michael Tolbert says there was a reason for the breakup, which I believe is that's kind of where I go with it, where it's like, and he also says, better yet, ask your new girlfriend if your ex can come over and chill with you. I don't know.
Man.
I don't know why
Everybody
he said
chill
that.
together? Is that-
I have some more from the people too.
Okay,
When you're
yeah, we gotta shout. People are actually,
Right.
yeah. Oh, sorry. And this last one, Anthony says, "Nah, that will never succeed." So,
Well, you know what? And before you go, Sugarfoot, the thing about it is, okay, we have a caller.
I was trying to be discreet about
right,
it.
right, but
Well, that was a little
You want to
dramatic.
finish your thought?
right.
You wanna
No,
finish
it's
your-
okay. Caller.
Okay. Give us your name and tell us where you're calling from, caller.
My name is Daryl. I'm calling from Cali, but I'm from Philly, so I gotta let that be known real quick.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I'm zoned, but no. Anyway, no, I ain't having none of that. I ain't digging that. Like,
Yeah. Who you telling?
Why not?
you mean why not? You ask for a reason, so what you need to stay in contact? Like, why do you stay in contact for? It's like,
What if y'all broke up because y'all were better as friends? Are you telling me that you've hated everybody that you've ever
Why does
broken
it
up
have
with?
to be hate?
Hate,
it's
Right.
about
yeah.
respect. It's about respect. It's not about hate.
Okay, but
It's
why?
about respect.
Okay, but why does being friends mean disrespect?
It's because like if you already been in like that relationship, you already have a different understanding. So why you turn over a new chapter? Why need to bring them over words into the chapter?
Yeah.
Okay, but what if they're
Right.
better?
He
What if they're
answered the
better
question.
to
Are
you?
you trying to
Right.
just
Trying to
hate
change
on
my
him?
man.
No, we're just
How
talking.
it works.
Yeah.
No, we just talking. You got a problem with us talking? No, we good.
No, it's
That's
like you trying
I
to.
mean,
you
no,
want
at the
him
end of
to
the day,
see-
we-
you want him to
Hold
see it
on.
through.
Persuasive on the situation, but I think what you're saying though. But no, I'm listening.
No, it's good enough because if I ask a question and he has a good answer, guess who gets to learn something? Me.
You.
Okay.
We all do.
All right. So, what if you got two people that were whatever together and they were not supposed to be together whatsoever? But like in this world, a lot of us are attracted to each other, so we try it. But you know what? That's the F. That didn't work. You know what I'm saying? We're far better.
It's never that easy though, because that means it's never the same mutual or as cool, better of just friends.
Why not? I've been
Somebody
there.
initiated that, and the other that other
Yeah.
person had too much pride to be like, all right, I
Yeah.
want you to be here, or they were just like, all right, fuck it.
Yeah, but what was the?
Nah,
Oh no, you
you
can't. No, you good. But what was the bottom line? You know what I'm saying? The bottom line, because some people don't have the courage or the convictions to do what they need to
And
do
it
a
all
long time
depends too.
ago.
Did they slay? It all depends how intimate did y'all get. It all depends on how deep the relationship was.
No, but no, I agree. I agree with you in the sense that if it's something that can be handled, that can be straight up, and there's no issues where there's nobody feeling threatened on either end, and nothing's an issue, then fine. Because I got to ask the question earlier: am I friends with all my exes? Yeah, the majority of them. But there's one I don't even put myself in that position with because of that.
Because of that's the reason why we're
Okay.
having the
Exactly.
conversation.
And
Right.
That
and
one.
so-
Okay, but
Not
to
the
my,
others.
Not the other
okay, but here's my.
Cool.
But is everybody like that?
Can I
And
just-
that's my
I
point.
understand what you're saying. So all right, I got a question for you then. All right.
Yeah,
Nice.
So you cool with your chick being with?
she is.
How my fault? No, you got. I understand that.
You there?
Or
he had a party. Yo,
all right, bet. All right, now I think it's just like my fault. I was talking to somebody else. All right, my fault. No, like real rap. Like you, so you cool with this chick being cool with her exes?
No,
They
she.
go out and what's your, and as far as cool, I mean like what's your definition of cool? What, going out on date or just I talk to you here and there?
I don't define her definition of cool. I'm saying I told her when we met, I said, look, this is what it is for me, and I'm out there. And as far as like I deal with a lot of people, I promote a lot of parties, so I don't have an issue
so it
with you.
comes down to trust.
Huh?
he's
It really
having
comes
another
down to trust, too.
conversation.
That's the major part.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I told her. I got a friend came in town, and I said I called her. She was at work. I said I'm going out to lunch with another girl. Okay. And she was like, okay, cool. If she called me and did the same thing, it would be the exact same thing. Now, if I had a question, I told her the only thing I respect is if I got a question, you answer it. That's that. She have questions, I answer it. but
Now we gotta talk about being my ex. Man.
But
Thank you.
Hey, I want to say I appreciate your stance because I'm with you on this one. And
Shout
I
out
don't know,
to you, Daryl, for
Real rap raw. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
he's from Philly. They don't, they don't play that in Philly.
Nah, they don't play a whole bunch of much of anything. You know what I'm saying?
We thank you for tuning in.
But appreciate it, man.
I want to give a shout out to Destiny holding it down like a wave cap and all that.
That's what's up.
She got a shout out.
That's what's
Nice.
up. That's what's up. Well, we about to take a commercial break, and we talking about how good it is to be just friends. This is Music Soul Child, Just Friends. POTUS, keep us up. Yeah.
No. And we're back.
I just wanna.
Again, this is Love Sessions. Charles is
I know.
singing.
Look,
Yeah,
now-
the last
now-
break,
right,
you
now
was
you-
getting on
you
us.
was on our head.
I was on
Here.
y'all shade.
But it,
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah.
if it's a song for
So-
you,
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Joins
So,
the-
again, Love Sessions. I'm your girl, Akila Trinae. You're tuning in to Morris Media Live. We're talking about, is it cool? Is it cool? Can you be friends with your ex?
Speaking to the mic.
No, definitely. I mean, most people will agree with me, so I really don't even know why.
Okay, well, look.
Well, if the world was that easy, then we all just wouldn't say nothing. So again, the number to call in is 323-293-3373, and that's 323-293-3375. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was
said
like,
73.
making up new
3375.
numbers and things.
293-3375. So we were talking from Women's Health magazine, and there's other articles from the men, and they raised some questions as well. And some of the questions that they raised in order for you to know if you should be friends with your ex is, the first question is they ask is, do you still have feelings for your ex? Your partner may
Now,
sense
that's real. Yeah.
your partner may sense it, and her wariness is valid. Is your ex a very good friend who is important to you, even if you take the attraction out of the equation? I would expect my partner to understand. After all, she was in your life before my partner was, and may have contributed to a history that was built on a mutual regard. You may not want to give that up, and you may be right. The next question that they ask is, would you choose your ex over your current partner? These are questions that you want to answer before you go and try and be in friendships with these other people. They say, are you absolutely honest with her? And this is the part that I kind of wanted to pause at. Yeah, definitely me. What about me, man?
Just pass it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Pass the weed.
This is the part that I wanted to pause at, because the honest part is the key to everything, because I've always wanted to be friends with everybody, right? Regardless, right? But there was so many relationships that I was so wrong about it. You know, so as the relationship went along, I would be like, oh yeah, like, you know, this, you know, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. he mic'd up in the back. And it's like, oh yeah. And, you know, and so I didn't preference our relationship by letting them know that I was a people's person, so to speak. And so that became an issue to deal with. Well, and it was like, dang, well, why don't you understand? Well, it's because they didn't know what they were getting into. So then when I would always ask that question, like, well, had you known, then what would you do? And the answer was always like, well, no, I wouldn't have. And trust me, I've talked to people and I've let them know exactly who I am, and they've took your stance and said, well, I'm not cool with that. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it's just been like, oh, okay, that's what's up. That's good. We'll just be friends. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really tripping, because at the end of the day, the reason for being absolutely honest with anybody, and this is just with flaws and everything, period, not just with wanting to date exes or anything, but anything about you, it's to know exactly what they're getting into with you. We've had so many conversations about debt and how it can ruin a relationship. And sometimes that's like the last thing to come up. And then it's so, the debt on one side is so hard to do, especially on the man's side. So then a woman gets into a relationship with a man, his debt is bad, but she has all these dreams and aspirations of doing houses and things like that. But now we have to overcome, but it wasn't something that was talked about previously. And it's like, dang, had they known beforehand, they may have thought differently. Well, when it comes to who you are, if you know thyself and who you're friends with and the company that you keep, if you know that about yourself, if you know that could also be troublesome, then you should also let that be known as well. And usually it's not an issue.
What I would say to you just from my time knowing you, as the camera turns to me, I would say this is your move, right? You want to make sure that you can do you, so you come under the pretense of, hey, everything is good as long as we trust each other, it's all good. But the reality is that if you're saying it's all good because you want to be able to be allowed to be friends with your ex, your girl might not give a damn about her ex. You get what I'm saying? But you like, I need to keep these friendships going. You see what I'm saying? So
my girl is best friends with her ex.
With her ex, but what I'm saying is you also want to be best friends with your exes.
I don't want to be. I don't want to be best friends with my ex.
You don't want to not be friends though. You don't
said
want to be on bad terms.
Now you switch. Now you moving the goalposts.
Who's moving the goalposts?
You said you were friends with all your exes.
I did say I'm friends with all my exes.
So that's what I'm. But
that's not me. Me being friends with all my exes don't mean that they ain't in my life every day. Me being friends with my exes don't mean that they're my best friends.
So that's why I asked let's define what we're talking about when we say friends and this friendship. What are the parameters and the boundaries
I text my friends
of this friendship?
You know what I'm saying?
He was talking.
I was the amen corner to her right now.
I just want to know the parameters of the friendship that you're referring to. The friendship that you keep
specifically
with these women while in your relationship. What are the parameters?
I would bring any one of those women home to meet my girlfriend. Like I would call her, and if they came back in town, because a lot of them are not in town anymore, but if they came back in town and was like, hey, I want to kick it, I would call her and say, I'm going to kick it with X, Y, and Z. Or such and such needs a place to stay tonight.
You're saying you're communicating that is you're saying, hey, I'm allowed to do this because you know about this. And you get what I'm saying? Like compared to her being like, where were you at? Like earlier today.
What if your partner?
Wait, did you just say
I'm so confused.
that your ex would hit you up like, I need a place to stay?
No, I said
and you'd be like, yeah, come over to the house.
If that was the case, yeah, I would call. Yeah, I would call and ask my girl, is it cool? Is it cool if this was it? And if she had questions, I would tell her who she was. Now, just because I'm good enough to ask, don't mean my girl gonna be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying. But what I'm saying,
what? It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So I have a question. So
We digress.
if your girlfriend is not okay with you being friends with your exes, are you gonna cut them off? Are you gonna not be friends with them? Is that okay? Or what? Are you gonna? You're like, that's it, because I'm gonna be friends with who I want to be friends with.
it depends on who it is. But if I'm friends with them, then no, I'm not cutting them off.
So
you compromise your relationship
I would have
for
never
an ex-friend.
I would have never gotten in that relationship period if that was the case. Like I said,
things evolve.
Right.
What I'm saying is relationships evolve. You might start off in one place, and then eventually, as things get more serious, you be like, no, I don't want you to hang out with so and so at y'all can't go to the movies.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
And like I said, I'm not put it
y'all
like
can't go
You're
bowling.
going.
I'm not in the spirit. I want to be who I want to be. Period.
But
Okay.
I'm saying you with somebody else.
Okay.
It's not just about you at this point.
Understand this. I want to be who I want to be. If I can't be whoever that is, then I'm not going. Then I'd rather much be alone if that's the case. Now, if I find somebody and we're fine in that regard,
evolving.
okay, and in our evolution, all right, just because we evolved, that doesn't mean that comes with restriction. It doesn't mean that it comes with parameters. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden that you can be put into a stereotype of what is the norm. Period.
No, but things could evolve to the point where
even if I got married,
but as you progress through your relationship,
okay, but
things change.
As I progress through,
Even if you got married, what were you gonna say?
Even if I got married, I don't want to operate under different precincts.
So you want to still be like y'all boyfriend and girlfriend.
But it's
Y'all
not
just
that.
met.
You should respect how they feel, just like you would want them to respect how you feel.
I didn't say that. I didn't. Okay, but understand what I'm saying. Me respecting how you feel and what I want doesn't mean that one of they go
what
together.
you want,
right?
It's not just
right.
you.
Okay, but understand this. Just because if it's something.
Okay, wait. Because
put like
we're
this.
talking about the women that you aren't interested in, because I want to go back to the actual woman, right, that you mentioned that you wouldn't put yourself in that situation
not
for
the other
because, you know, we don't need to talk about the other ones because they're irrelevant.
Right.
The woman that you would not put yourself in that situation, would you call your girl and say, hey, is it cool? She comes over to the house, spends the night. Let's say she might even be gone for a weekend or something like that.
I wouldn't do it even if I was home alone. I wouldn't do that if I didn't have a
But
girlfriend
why?
with that
Because you
woman.
want to be you, right?
Okay, but
Can we
that
read
me
some of
being
these?
me
Can we
doesn't
include
involve
the
that with her.
audience? Shout out to the audience that's
Right.
tuning in, and we do need to take a poll.
Yeah.
But you know, our brother Detroit has a very strong stance, and he believes in what he's saying. I'm continuing to get these comments. He says, ain't no way girls agree with that with any of that. You know what I'm saying? And Anthony, shout out to Anthony. He says that's straight up disrespectful to the new girl.
Wait, and he put in the tone like,
Yeah.
wait, I think this is how he was saying.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then it said somebody else, Denise says, get out of town. He wants to be single.org. Damn, it's
I don't even know what that means.
You don't want to be in a relationship. That's what it means.
Yeah,
Basically,
it
you
sounds
just
like
But I'm in one.
With no title.
Let's see, Cynthia.
We need a shot
Cynthia
fired.
Santos says, I think you should be secure in your relationship enough that you can talk and be friends without anyone with anyone you want to. Never tell someone what they can or can't or cannot. Trust and respect each other is the most sexiest thing you can give to a relationship.
Okay.
What was that?
So she's on. This is Cynthia Santos. So
Cynthia, I don't disagree
Cynthia
with
sounds
her.
like she's on Detroit side.
But here's the thing, and that's the element, and the reason why I said, well, let's talk about the woman that
I
you
believe in
wouldn't
trust
do
too,
it for.
though.
You get what I'm saying? Because that doesn't break the trust between you and your girlfriend,
Right.
but it puts you in a different position as far as how you would play that, because you know where your heart lies. You know the place or the things that you all shared during the time of the relationship, so you know you wouldn't put yourself in a position to do that.
Right.
You're not saying that you're gonna go and cheat with this woman. You get what I'm saying? But you understand, you're conscious enough to understand that this probably wouldn't be the best situation because of how this other person makes you feel. It doesn't take away from your current girl.
And how
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
However, you're not going to put yourself in a position to be vulnerable like that, or the window to be open, or the
Right.
fox to
For
come
the fox
in.
to come in, whatever the analogy would be.
Yeah, I know. Look,
And-
I never
and
raised
all of that,
chickens or nothing.
because I think it's easier for people to say, yeah, if I don't care, if I don't have any attachments to an ex, like, yeah, we can be friends. It's easy to say that. So how about we change the question? Can you still be friends with an ex you're still sexually attracted to, or you're still emotionally tied to?
Absolutely, 100%.
That's the
no.
question.
Okay, but so the answer to that is still yes if you have control. Like I said,
No,
but-
what? No.
No, because
You're supposed to have control. Is it? No. Because we gotta break.
It's-
We gotta
no,
unpack what you
hold
just
on,
said. We
hold
gotta
on. And I
unpack-
am.
But let me unpack, because we went to yes if you have control, and I just had to stop you there, because I'm like, for one, control just goes back to what you were saying with trust. Trust and control is like, look, you are not supposed to
I agree.
be hooking up with any other person if you're in a monogamous relationship. So this
Right,
whole
I agree.
this whole if you're not, if this whole thing about being like, trusting, they already, the reason why, sorry, I'm over here losing my train of thought now, but the thing about it is that you have this previous relationship. You guys are sexually attracted to each other at one point, and then you're saying, and y'all have previous relations with each other because you guys are each other's exes, and then you add on to that, and you say that you're currently sexually attracted to that person, but you're saying if you got control, you can still hang out with that person. To me, that's like
I'm sexually attracted to a lot of women that I'm around.
but not hanging around somebody that you.
That I know.
Now you got space and opportunity.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but if that's the case, then I don't need to be with a girl.
Oh my God.
Hold on. If
You're
space and
missing what I'm
opportunity.
saying.
Hold on. If me being able to have sex with a woman.
I caught that too.
What?
It's okay. Keep going.
whatever.
I don't need to be with a girl. That just was a little
No. But here's my point. If because I got space and opportunity
with somebody that
with
you
somebody,
previously had relationships
Space and opportunity
with
with.
someone or anybody, regardless of whether I've had it or not. If it's just about
that's a big difference.
Okay, but what I'm saying, if it's just about space and opportunity, then I don't need to be with
I
anybody.
didn't say space only space and
Okay,
opportunity. I'm
okay,
saying space and
okay.
opportunity.
Space
You
and
guys have had sex with each other previously
All
before
of-
that
all
situation.
of that- all of that above.
And now you're keeping this thing going.
Okay, so what you're telling me is you're physically incapable. As a man, you're physically incapable of being around a woman that you sexually had sexual contact with and saying no now, even though you're married, because of space and opportunity and because of your history.
No.
Just why give her the space and opportunity to
Okay,
come
but
on
see,
to him?
okay, this,
He's-
okay.
that's
But
all.
see-
I knew
but
you was
see-
derailing. I knew you were derailing.
Wait, but see, with
you're
that,
missing
with that,
the
it's
point.
different because in that situation, you're not
This is
trying
an
to
ex.
pursue it as a friendship, trying to be around that person, trying to hang out, call each other. You know what I mean? Talk.
got
You
hope.
know what I mean? You're not
I'm
doing
a
it that
dude.
way.
Look, man, I'm a man. I'm a person that's been in the friend zone with women that I've been attracted to that because of situations, whatever. What I'm talking about is the friend zone, and I know you've been down the friend zone road, and I've been down the
Okay,
friend
but
zone
I don't
road.
understand the
And
parallel with being in a-
Let him
with being
finish.
a-
Listen, I'm gonna bring it all home.
Gotcha.
And so the whole thing is like, as a man, you always, and this any man will tell you this from the gate. It's like you think in the back of your mind, I don't care if you say you best friends, this is my BFF. You never touched each other, y'all, but in the back of your mind, you like, at one point, if I get lucky and she cries on my shoulder because her other dude did it wrong and the fireplace is going, I might have a chance. Like
fireplace.
I got a chance in the back of my mind, and you got that Hail Mary pass that you at some point think that you could cash in. I don't care what, like, girls be like, oh, this is my best friend. We would never, no, the guy in the back of his mind and the deepest thoughts, not even deepest thoughts, he's reserving a space for hope. And that hope is that one day you will see him as that person. If you're in the friend zone, and all I'm saying is as a dude, when you're hanging, those are things that are deep about people that are sexually attracted to each other, have previous relationships with each other, that hang out with the other person. I don't care, you could be like, yeah, my guy is tripping, The thing is, in the back of their mind, like, they're like, hey, I wouldn't do you like that, or it just takes that little, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh wow, oh, he said that to you. That's messed up. Next thing you know, y'all making out. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like,
Even
And then you have a baby.
yeah, exactly. So I'm just saying, like, let's not just make it seem like this whole platonic thing and BFFs just don't have real life, progressions and consequences. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys are exes. You guys have had sex with each other several times. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So that's a real thing. If y'all around each other, y'all are, things happen. You get does that make sense? Like, am I tripping? Like, that's what happens in life. We're human beings. So I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be on this high horse like, I would never.
No, you're actually telling me that you would.
No, I'm saying, what I'm saying is
That you would. Because
what I'm saying is if you have space and opportunity with somebody that you're attracted to on that level and that you've already had relationships with, that's not a good scenario, let alone if nothing happens. It just doesn't look good. It doesn't optically look good in any way. But let alone the fact that this is not optics. This is saying that you as that person in your heart of hearts actually still want to have sex with that person. You get what I'm saying? Why would you be around
It
them?
has to be applicable, Charles. That's my point. I was asked first off. The question was asked: can you have sex? Can you be with someone and still be friends with your exes that you had sex with? The answer to that question is yeah. And I said because of perspective. Then the next question, one of the other questions that I followed up and said answer to was, there are some women that I'm friends with, that I've had sex with, that are my exes, that it would not be an issue for me to be around, and they're still my close friends, and I wouldn't care. I would invite them over. But there is one exclusive that I wouldn't do that with. Again, so let's go
Because
back.
of?
Perspective. Because of perspective. So,
because
time out. I'm talking. I'm going to get to it. So, back to your point that you brought up just a minute ago about whatever it is you were saying about friend zone and all that, right? So let's apply.
You don't know about the friend zone?
So let's.
No, I'm just saying. Don't
Whatever-
try to put me out
no,
there
no,
like that.
no, no, no,
So
whatever-
I'm just saying. You don't know
Time
about
out.
the friend zone? All right.
No. Whatever it is,
You don't know
I
about the friend
think
zone?
whatever it is, I think you're trying to say, which is if there's somebody that you care about deeply and you're in a situation to do something with, would you go for it? Okay, now I'm talking about that given individual that I feel that way about.
Not saying would you go for it. Would you? You shouldn't be around. them.
Okay, so that's my point. I agree with you in that point. But what I'm saying is everything is mutually exclusive. Not everything is not tied to everything is not tied to one another.
No, I agree.
But that's what I'm saying. And that's why the answer to this question is yes. Because yes, I know that if you know, and I talk to you about perspective, if you understand.
Is your girlfriend sexually attracted to her best friend?
No,
Yes.
That's that's a
Yes.
bombshell. Call in right now at.
But look, no, and even to that point, me and her have had run-ins
Well, I mean, she
about.
probably would be.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying
they're each other exes. So
that's what I'm saying, and that was
only
for years. That was for years, longer than I've been.
It
with her.
doesn't mean you have to currently still.
Right.
be attracted to
You
that
mean like
person.
right now? Oh, I don't know. But I'm just assuming. Yeah. Oh, actually, I do know that. So for a fact, I do know that is unequivocal. Yes. And we've had run-ins with that, but it wasn't about the things that I already knew. It wasn't about.
So I'm just trying to understand for the sake of other people who may feel the same. So do you feel like it's okay because in the back of your mind you're trying to justify that because you have trust, that you're trusting that she's going to always make the right choice in this situation with her being attracted to and still wanting to bond with? Or do you feel as though because he feels a void, maybe that you can't feel, that you're okay with that because that's what makes the relationship work overall?
None of the above.
Can I address this debate that's going on my timeline?
Hold on. Let me answer a question.
Yeah.
It's none of the above. It's about her being a person, him being a person, and understanding that they called it quits for a reason, but they may or may not been friends. And because she met me, all of a sudden that shouldn't become extinct because I'm good friends with people. I know I'm good friends with people, and this is just through growing up.
That's why I say that.
This is just me growing up. I understand that I've been good friends with people, and that I dated, and I don't like them like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like them like that at all. But we had a past. We had a relationship. At one point, we probably was in love, but I don't think about them at all. So I put myself in that perspective to say, what if she has a friend just like that I don't even like that, but they good friends? And if I can call this person, or this person needs to call me for whatever it is, you know what I'm saying?
Is there ever a time where if you see a text or you see something that you might feel like I should address it, or
yes,
that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like so there is a friendship. But then
with plenty of people, not even just that one given one.
Well, just as an example, we'll keep it in contained. So I'm saying there is a friendship that exists, but at the same time, if you are in a situation where you're uncomfortable with some aspect of that, you will speak up, have a conversation about it, or address it, right?
Yes, and that's the point. Because guess what?
And what are things that you would feel uncomfortable with in that relationship?
I don't know. It's weird via text. Somebody could send hi.
I didn't say text. I'm just saying what are in
Well,
general.
you're saying hi would question that?
I'm saying I've been in a jealous predicament where somebody just put hi wrong. Like why do you use the capital? Why do you use a capital H? This mother.
Wait, hi to you or hi to them?
Hi to them. Like you know,
okay.
But
and you were checking the phone.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
So that already lets you know you was already in that mind.
Right.
Frame.
So guess what? In that situation, it was just like, you know what? I might as well leave because I'm already out of bounds anyway.
Yeah.
And that's just
I will say one of my
operate.
rules is, and this is to everybody, ladies and men, if you're looking for something, you're gonna find it. That's my number one relationship trust rule. If you're looking for something, you're gonna find it. He said he looked through her phone, somebody said hi with a capital H. And that
because
set him off.
Because guess what?
So,
you make a lot of things out of nothing.
You can make something.
You'll
make a whole case.
Once your mind is gone, it's
so
gone.
I'm saying once you're in a relationship and you're already looking for like clues, you're looking for things, that's the road to just say,
But it-
I need to figure this
And,
out.
and, but
you
in
know what
Charles,
I'm saying?
in Charles, that's the other pivotal moment that I had in growth in figuring that out. Because guess what? If I try to get with a girl, so then I get with the next girl, right? And you know what? She can only talk to me, all right? Or
Yeah.
she can only be friends with me or whatever.
She can only be my Facebook
You know what I'm saying?
friend.
You know how hard that is to manage
Yeah.
because girls look, they like, they talk, especially if you come across the
Wait,
conversation.
I'm sorry, I missed something. Fill me in. You said
I'm saying so. Growing up and having jealous moments behind who you talking to, what are you doing?
can't
Whatever.
control
But
a whole
so
person's
right,
life and everything.
you can't, and it's too many options out here because it could be the guy at work. Dang, they talking a lot, but that's all about work. It's the guy at the gym. Or it's
but those are people that they haven't had.
But here's
Okay.
Yeah, that we know of.
yeah, but that and that's my point, and that's my given point. So when my mom told me that, she also told me like you'll never know. So
Yeah.
as long as you worrying about one, you might as well worry about them all. And if you're worrying about them all, then you
Yes,
shouldn't
yes,
be
yes,
with them,
yeah.
and that's stressful.
I agree with
So
that.
worry
I
about
definitely
none of
agree.
them until something comes up. And then you deal with that, and if you need to go, then you need to go.
But what's your
Right,
red, do you
but
have
we
red
already
flags?
but
Do
we
you have red
already
flags?
established the fact that there's trust, right? We already established there's trust in your relationship because that's why you're in that relationship,
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
Everyone.
All right.
So we're not talking about the fact of whether you trust the person or not. We are talking about the opportunity, right? For you
Space and
to
opportunity.
The ones that you
continue
know
something with
about.
someone. We're not talking about you don't have no kids together, right? It's not your
Don't text at 11.
ex-husband or wife
So
or whatever.
change the
So-
question because I feel like you're asking a different question now,
Well, I'm saying more so in the context of somebody that you had sex with, you
Mm-hmm.
had a relationship with, you guys were together, you shared moments,
Mm-hmm.
you went to each other's homes, you
know
met
the
each other's
daddy.
families,
There's
there's depth, right? We're not talking about the person that you guys dated, in high school and it was over. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the relationships with depth. Now, you have that relationship. I'm talking to all the people too who agree, right, that it's cool and that you have this trust and all that. I'm not talking about you don't trust the person, that they're shady, they're doing trifling things. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the people that you're in a committed relationship with. Is it conducive to the relationship? Is it healthy for the relationship? Does it benefit your current relationship to maintain this other relationship with this person
That you're building
you,
something with.
that in essence you're still in a relationship with?
it's not two-part answer. It's not or it shouldn't be damaging to the relationship. That's one. And two, that friendship isn't about the relationship. And we're trying to lump that together like that's the case.
What
What
I'm trying to just understand, because I'm not really giving a perspective in this case right now. I'm just trying to understand that, because in one instance you said that there's certain things you're not going to do with the person that you feel that connection with.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
But then with the people that you don't feel the connection with, it's cool, right? Because naturally there's nothing there. So
Correct.
why would anybody even have to not
Worry about
trust that or
Right.
worry about it? That's
Right.
so that's irrelevant. That's
Right.
that's out of the door. So the one that you personally know, not because you're gonna go and
Actually do something.
but because you know that there's a place that you share with that person that you don't want to rub that up, because you would then have to address
wanna
that
con-
when
So
you
with-
hang around that
with
woman.
given- with
You're
that-
you're building stuff up,
Right.
and now you have to deal with it.
So with that given individual, the answer. Remember, I said the first answer was no because it's not damaging to the relationship, and then two, it's not about that relationship. Well, for that person, the answer would be no because that would be damaging to the relationship because I don't have control of it. Because I would be inclined to
Right.
do
So
something.
I think that what's most important in this situation is not whether or not because of your one situation or somebody else's situation, like, yeah, it'd be cool. It's really understanding the dynamics of what and how you feel with the person and not denying that. Because sometimes people can be in denial about those very things. Like, as I said, sometimes from the woman's perspective, it's like, oh, it's cool. I don't have no problem. I don't feel a certain way about this man, you know what I'm saying? But Charles' perspective, he's saying the man in his mind is like, I'm just waiting for that opportunity.
Oh,
so the woman
absolutely.
in that situation, of course, she's all trusting. She's trying to let the dude know, like, it's nothing because it's nothing for her. But for him, it may be something totally different that she's not aware of. And yes,
I don't trust.
so
no
the
dude
man is
in
not
in my
trusting
fox-
the woman,
in my,
right?
In my hen house.
It's the man. It would be Charles not trusting the other man.
I don't.
Who's
her.
you get what I'm saying?
but
Not
to-
his wife because he trusts her.
Okay,
Well,
but
I
to
just
me,
I would
here's
just
my-
say in the back of his mind, if
To me,
I would just say a dude, there's no way. Like I said, you're not about to let the fox in your hen house. I don't care what you say to me. There's no way that if I get into it with my old lady, that she gonna cry on another man's shoulder, a man that she didn't have previous relations with, and you about to tell me this man wasn't at least attempting or to get back in good favor, whatever. Like that's human nature. I just wouldn't trust it, and it just is a simple fact that I'm like,
Well, it also goes back to the fact of you said that human part, that nature part. The part of those things are when you said you
guys
can't
are already
control
familiar
it,
with each
that
other.
you're right because you fall into that familiar place of, like I said, you keying. You know what I'm saying? You sharing these old moments and these old stories and these old whatever.
hey,
And you-
like, I'll let y'all in on something. I tickle my wife. I tickle her, and say for instance, if we weren't together and her husband that's current, whatever, we not together, I'm coming to pick up the kids, but I'm over here boop boop tickling her, we would have to fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it would just be like, I'm not okay with that. Y'all friends, but that you didn't cross this line. There's a line and it's been crossed. And I'm just saying there's a lot of lines that would be what I'm just saying that this whole friendship thing is just like, I don't want to. It's like a game that you just like. I don't want to play that game because it could be a lot of bad stuff that can happen out of that game, and I don't want to even go down that road.
So
You get what- does that make sense?
293-3375.
you got something to say, Sugar?
You got some? Yes. Come on, jump in there, girl.
Come on, Sugar.
Trying, y'all was going at it for a while now.
Hey, you gotta
but-
get in.
Right.
I think that it's okay to be cordial with your ex, as far as maybe if randomly they might hit me up, oh, hey, how are you? Okay, hey, how are you? That's it. But as far
Happy
as
birthday.
friends, hanging out,
But see, that's why I
going to
said
the movies,
friends.
having lunch, you
Bowling.
calling me late because we friends and you want to talk about something.
Talk about
for
her
what?
boyfriend.
And that's also a respect level if I am in a relationship. We can be cordial, cool, but actual friends that I do with my normal friends every day, I don't think that's okay. And even,
it also depends on what you do with your normal friends.
I mean,
I don't do any of that with any of my normal friends.
okay, I do stuff with my friends. I hang out with my friends.
Okay.
But
I'm saying on a consistent basis like that. We got a caller. Call us,
Oh.
give us your name, and tell us where you're calling from.
Hi, my name is Coach D, and I'm calling from Ontario, California.
Hello.
Shout out. I was gonna say Bay Area, but a little far.
Right.
But shout out to NoCal.
Ontario?
Ontario.
That's right. in
Here.
Racine.
Oh shit! I was thinking of
by
Antioch.
Riverside.
I was thinking of Antioch.
I just came back down from Riverside, so
Don't
I'm not too
mind
far
him.
from you.
Yeah, don't mind me. Peace and blessings.
Anyway, can I speak now or no?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. Go ahead. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, so anyway, this subject, just from personal experience, I have a relationship or a friendship with my exes, but those relationships are so done, meaning there is no emotional tie. But one of the rules of thumb is that if your ex cannot be friends with you in your new relationship,
Mm-hmm.
then that is a squash.
Yeah.
And I wholeheartedly agree.
What if
So
y'all
they
don't?
should
What
be
if
able
y'all
to
don't
be-
like the same things?
Huh?
What I'm just saying is, Detroit likes to bowl. All right, say for instance,
That's not the only dynamic to me.
well.
We're not
That
talking
that
about
just
that
that
kind of
just
intimate friendship. If
that
you-
just
if you
sticks
and
out
your-
to me. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, what if y'all don't? If the ex doesn't like the same things, like you're like, hey, I want to go bowling, but your new relationship, they don't like bowling. So you're like, so you just continue to bowl with this ex relationship.
Yeah.
No.
But
No.
Wait, let her.
go ahead.
No, I'm not. No, first and foremost, your current relationship should be the priority. So it's
Yeah.
not about hanging out with your ex and that kind of things. But what I'm saying to you is that the rule of thumb is that if that ex cannot be friends with you in your current relationship, then that ex need to keep it pushing. And you need to let them keep it pushing because they should be able to engage with both of you all.
Right. So
Now,
you mean the
that
ex
don't mean
being
you go
willing, right?
bowling with- Yeah, don't
Okay.
go bowling with your ex and leave your current behind if she don't like the bowl. That's no.
Out. That's out.
Maybe you should still
Well,
be with your
Out of
ex.
control. Right.
But no, and you know what? That will be a lesson learned in saying that, you know what? I don't need to be with my ex, but I probably don't need to be with the new person either.
Exactly.
Because I'm saying if I am very passionate about bowling, just like I'm passionate about football. Case in point, I had a girl that didn't like me watching football. Right? That just wasn't gonna fly. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know that was the case. But my ex liked me. She didn't care about me watching football. But the football isn't about my ex, and it isn't about the new girl. It's about me, my passion. Bowling is about me,
You gonna
the
learn
passion.
about that me.
You know what I'm saying? No. Okay, but you don't change your passions. Passion is something that you've grown with. You know what I'm saying? So if
You do it. You do.
Right.
So just, you got a lot of wisdom. What's your name on the call?
My
Right?
name is Coach D, and I probably do have quite a bit more wisdom
Yeah.
than most of you.
Yeah.
you said
I-
coach,
I was
are you
coach,
saying
yeah.
are you saying Coach D?
Coach.
Yes.
What do you coach?
Volleyball.
I actually, believe it or not, I also have a radio show, so I just picked
Hey.
up on this, and I thought it was an interesting conversation.
Thank you. That's
No, we
dope.
appreciate
I
it.
just,
We
I
appreciate
got
you.
a question. So if you are with somebody and they are, so he's, what is it? He's saying me a lot. I hear a lot of me's when I talk to Detroit, and I just wonder
We talking about me?
how as you evolve and you get into a serious relationship with somebody, that me stuff is gonna start to have to become we, right?
Exactly.
Of course.
Because
I
it
have
feels.
a quick saying to that.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course.
If he's doing him and she's doing him, then who's doing her?
That would be predicated on if she wasn't doing her. But she,
Wow, bro. You
But
just,
that's
I don't
no.
think you internalized that answer. You just decided to just say something.
no, I understand what she's saying. That means nobody's catering to her. But that would be like right now we're talking about me to me. You know what I'm saying? And we're talking about my perspective. We're not talking about if we spoke about her perspective, she feels closer to what you guys feel. But the problem is
But
I
you
don't
said you put yourself in that other person's shoes when you were thinking about that relationship and if there was trust or not there. So you're not going to put yourself in your girlfriend's shoes with her in comfort with that friendship.
But that's what I'm saying. So even if I wanted to, I wouldn't do it. But the main reason I'm doing it is because I can't do it, regardless of her. But I don't put her in a lot of predicaments that I actually do believe in. Period.
So you have beliefs in your mind, but in action you do other things. I didn't want to ignore the caller. I'm sorry, Coach D.
Yeah. What is
I
it that
didn't-
you coach?
This is interesting.
What is it that you
I
coach?
just wanted to make
Basketball?
sure that we weren't ignoring you or cutting you off or anything. If you had
What's the name of your
final,
show? What's the
comment.
name of your show?
Name of my show is Processing the Pain.
Processing the Pain. Is it here or where is it?
It is actually, well, it's international.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, my show is not like a live radio show, but it is Blog Talk and it's global, and I
Okay.
have over thousands of listeners, and,
Oh,
and
okay.
we have different subject matters such as this, and
Shout out.
various guests, and we're just trying to teach people how to get through. Life is full of pain.
I hear
Right.
you.
There's a way to process through them. So listening to this show, like I said, it was very interesting. I know Charles.
He looked like this.
Ooh, sips tea. Sips tea. 'Cause now he like you do? You do? Oh, this
Shout
must be
out. Yeah,
one of the exes you say.
No, I know his wife. I know his wife. No.
Oh wow, this is so,
Charles is like, whoo,
Right. He said,
thank God.
get out of
Thank
here.
God.
This guy's a character. Well, shout out to my wife and
I'll let that be known.
Yeah, I don't know.
The head of my life.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we thank
my
you,
red-
Coach D, for calling in.
My Psalms 31. My Proverbs 31.
Appreciate
All right,
you.
have a good night.
Appreciate you. Hey,
Oh, my
but
God.
to the point before we get to our final comments.
Coach D.
Let me let it be known, especially up here on my soapbox, especially when I talk, it's about a lot of things that I believe in and that I want. But a lot of
you know you got a soapbox.
But a lot of these things have to be worked toward. You know what I'm saying? So I know for example, like we talk about flaws all the time.
Read some of this stuff.
We talk about flaws all the time. So I put flaws out on the table first when I get into a relationship. Once those flaws are accepted, most of the time I leave everything else in the relationship up to what she wants because of those flaws. Because a lot of us think our flaws are so bad that they can't be overcome. And I'm no different than anybody else. So I do my best, not to say that I don't fail, but I do my best to let everything.
Don't get jealous.
To let everything. No, I've never said that I don't get jealous. Because even with the relationships that I allow, there's questionable moments, and those.
What is this allow? That doesn't sound very.
You're right. What I'm saying is being open to everything opens you up to a lot more so than what you would if things were constricted. But I've also been in those constricted moments and areas, and as a person being constricted, I couldn't grow or blossom, and it was stifling. So I don't want to do that to anybody else. I try and be conscious of that. Yeah. But just because I speak, boastfully about what I want, it doesn't necessarily mean, because a lot of things that I want. There's a lot of women.
Tasha said, if you're still calling the ex an ex, then you aren't at a true friendship level.
If I'm still calling an ex an ex,
not you per se, but I'm saying.
I find that to be very true. Like even with the mother of my child, it got to a point where I had to start calling her by her name to my girlfriend, so that, because my girlfriend was like, I'm good. At first, my girlfriend was like, yeah, I don't want to meet her. And then she's like, well, I do want to meet her. And then my actual girlfriend was like, well, I don't want to meet her. And then all of a sudden, they both was cool with meeting each other, but I didn't know it, so I just left them both out of it. And then for a long time, they was like, well, I been wanted to meet you. When they actually did get up and talk, and it was like, well, every day was cool with it, but I didn't know. But they were cool because of me, but I thought because of them, wasn't the case. But it's a lot of this. My biggest point is a lot of these things are exclusive, and they only mean what we make them mean or not mean. So if somebody means something to you, then that's because you've made them mean something to you. But if somebody means nothing to you, and you can be upfront about it, and to the caller's point, and you don't mind being that upfront about that in front of or in conjunction with your new girlfriend or new partner, then it's not an issue. But we live by such stereotypes that we can't and we don't, so we don't. And it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be so hard.
He got game. I can't imagine being in a relationship with you in a late night conversation. You be like, dog, what the hell are we talking about right now? You just ran me in a circle.
Sugarfoot, give us your thoughts and final comments.
I just think it's kind of tricky. At the end of the day, I think it does come down to the trust factor, to how you feel about that person. It might not even be about you trusting your partner, but that other person. So just don't put yourself in the situation, and you won't even have to deal with it. That's
okay.
That was my bad.
Well, now it's on you, Charles.
Well, did anybody else have
comments?
Oh wait, let me tell you what my daddy said.
Okay.
You don't give the devil a chance to test you. You don't know what's on the other person's mind. And I think what's also true about what he's saying, and that's why I said there's a human part and there's a nature part, that you may in your mind not have the intentions of doing certain things, but then, you get caught up in a situation, you get a little too comfortable. I go back to that kikikiing, right? And then before you know it, it's a situation going on, and it wasn't intended. You didn't want it to happen, but it happened. And then now you got to deal with that because you put yourself in that situation. Now, if you're in a situation where, you have to interact with a person, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about somebody who you're willingly wanting to establish, go after, or keep a relationship with somebody that you are sexually attracted to, that you've been intimate with before, that you still would want to be intimate with. The only reason that you're not, right, is not because you don't want to, is because you're in a relationship with somebody else. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get at, is that it's not like you're just held by all these bounds that you cannot. Out of respect for probably the relationship that you're in, you're deciding, okay, and you're choosing, no, I'm not going to pursue this. Because if you could pursue something with somebody, no strings attached, right? You're not committed. You know what I mean? You would. You, as some people do, they dip in and out, right? Back and forth with their exes. It's no problem. But it's when you are in a committed monogamous relationship with a person, then certain things of you doing you, right? Certain behaviors that would be not be questionable single, but become questionable because now you're in a relationship. You have to make those decisions and say, okay, do I want to continue this or not? It's not because a person's a bad person. It's not because you hate them. It's not because of any of those things. It's just that conscious decision to say, you know what? This is probably not the best situation, you know, considering the fact that, as Miss Coach D said, that your new relationship is now the priority. Yeah. And because that new relationship is the priority, everything else is secondary. You get what I'm saying? Now, if you are, and those people who agree, if you're in this relationship, but yet, again, the friendship that you have with this other person becomes the priority, then you're not really in a relationship. As I said, you're still in the relationship with the ex.
Can I appreciate everybody who called, who gave their opinion. Even though I go back and forth, Detroit has his opinion, and I think that we don't completely disagree. You know, I would say that because the reality is that, you know, trust is, you have to have trust. And it don't matter if it's an ex, it don't matter if it's a bus driver, it don't matter if it's an Uber driver, whatever it is. Like
the Uber driver, though.
Yeah, seriously. It just matters. Like at the end of the day, if you feel like you in a situation where this person, you need to check their phones, you need to check their Instagram, you need to check their DMs because something ain't right. They don't have, you know, exes ain't gonna be the thing that's gonna make or break your relationship. But what I will say is that trust is the foundation of a real relationship. If y'all don't have trust and you really don't have a relationship, it's just some kind of fake thing that y'all just living under this facade until somebody get caught up. So you gotta have trust. But like I said, there is a such thing as space and opportunity. And I keep saying that because when you have relations with another person, now you know that person, and knowing meaning that y'all had a previous relationship, you had sexual contact, that means that y'all had a different level of intimacy, and that just makes it a different dynamic. So, yes, you can be friends under certain circumstances, but if the person that you're with isn't comfortable with those set of circumstances, then now you got a decision to make. And if you want to move forward with this new person, I personally would say if I walk into a situation, that's one of my big red flags. If the ex is just like everything and I just don't agree with that. But just to say, that's one of my red flags, because as a new person, you a new dude, you meet a new amazing girl, but all her things is like ex related, it's gonna be hard for you to overcome that because they have so much history, they have so much, and you never know. Like she could be holding out hope that he gets a better job, that he stops being an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? Next thing you know,
she's waiting for that window. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
she could be.
She could be like, I can't deal with this guy. I tried 5, just that whole insecure scenario.
Yeah, that's why I laugh, because that's what it made me think
scenario.
about.
Next thing you know, the dude from Insecure, he got the job. He got, now everything's coming together. And she's like, all right, I tried this new thing with the new guy. And then the new thing with the new guy wasn't really what she wanted anyway. Mm-hmm. And so she ended up back with the guy that she originally wanted. So just to say, it's a complicated issue. There's no right or wrong, but there are red flags that you should look out for if you are looking to get into a new relationship and somebody already has a really close relationship with the ex, because you don't know necessarily what your signing up for, because you could be signing up for like a little temporary contract kind of thing, you know, until their ex get their ish together.
Well, we about to get up out of here, and I don't have a poem for tonight, but it's more so, it's more so just final words and tying everything in a bow. And one of my favorite sayings is, I don't know if you remember a long time ago. I don't know if you remember a long time ago, Akila,
No.
but it
We
was.
still have time, technically.
Oh, really?
Okay. But I mean, it's fine. Go ahead. Do I remember what?
I'm so confused. But anyway, anyway, so I used to say, if you sit in the classroom long enough, you'll learn something. You know what I'm saying? And that's still one of the things I live by, which is kind of, I think, is along the lines of your fox analogy, where, and, you know, and you know, in your human element. So it's definitely something that I believe in, but it's all with perspective and understanding that. And so, but only message I did want to get across is that things don't mean anything except for what you make them out to be, unless you don't know what they are. So your father was very much right. You don't want to give.
But that's why I said you being clear with where you stand and how you feel about the situation. Because I think Melanie, BJ's wife, she was saying, you know, like being honest with your feelings, being honest about certain things, like how you feel. That would be something that I don't know how many people are forthright, you know, with that. Like this person, like, you know, this is my ex, still like him.
He
You
broke
know,
my heart.
you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't want to be, because most of the time when it's presented, it's like, yeah, it didn't work out. It's over. We're done. I
Exactly.
don't care about him anymore.
It's like
you
the
know what I mean?
PR
Which,
version of
of
the
course,
scenario.
you would accept that versus the, I still like him. You know,
Yeah, I
I
still
still
like
occasionally
him.
have dreams about him.
Broke my heart.
You know what I mean?
If he ever says he wants to be back on
Right?
me, then I'll accept it.
No, but not that far. But even not going that far. But anybody that knows me knows that I'm great friends with the mother of my child. You know what I'm saying? And that's put out on.
Different. We're not
like I
talking
said,
about
I know that, but
once
no,
again,
time out. I know that because that's a mandatory situation. But even still,
not even mandatory, but you
it-
should. That
no,
benefits you to
no,
have a good relationship with her.
Yeah, but it does. But for most women that I've talked to, they're still not accustomed to it.
But
Because
is
it's
there
the-
still an opportunity if
Okay.
things were to work out in that situation?
So let me
Okay.
get to that point, because me and you have had conversations. But to that point, even though that's mandatory and it's the case, like we can't do anything about it, it still doesn't mean anything because they're still who we are. My holidays I don't spend with my girlfriend. I spend with the mother of my child's family. You know, so all this stuff is kind of, it puts people in a precarious situation because it's still not usual. Most people don't like them. Most men don't like the mother of their child.
She can't go.
Eventually,
No,
but
she
yeah, that's
can
what I'm
go.
saying.
Yeah,
Eventually,
no, she can go.
like I said, things will evolve.
Yeah,
and
she
then,
can.
And then
She
you,
can go.
You,
All
as
those
your
things
relationships will evolve, which I spoke about earlier. That's what I'm talking about. Is the involvement when. You say you don't spend your holidays together, but then as your relationship evolve, you will spend your holidays together because she was
Right.
not. She was, and then
which
now it's
is
gonna be
fine.
yeah.
Which is all true and which is all fine. But what I'm saying is, up until that point, this is where we are, and this is where we start, and this is where we need to come from. But we can do all of these things, and nothing means nothing except for what we put it out to be. So if you want to be good, then you good. Can you be friends with exes? Yes, you can be. There are exes that you shouldn't be friends with, as there is one that.
So then, should you is no.
Right,
Can you is yes.
With certain. That's what, you know what I'm saying? So, which is an entirely different question. But the question for tonight was, could you? And for me, the answer is a daunting yes, you can be.
Daunting. It's a daunting yes.
From Sugarfoot, Charles Handy, Mr. Dance Hustle, Akila Trinae,
Follow
the
me on
teacher.
Instagram.
You got it. From the poetess in the back, Mr. Mark. I am
Cuss.
not your cuss.
Marcus.
Nah, I didn't want to say that because Mr. Marcus is somebody. You know what I'm saying? But Mr. Mark, you know what I'm saying? I am Doncho Detroit. This has been a lovely, lovely, lovely evening. And so a lot of us ask questions.
Shout out to the coach.
Could you put yourself in somebody else's shoes in the places? Can they be friends with them? It's a Trading Places. Yeah.
Ooh, you gon' take me